Hey guys, Abs here. In this video, we're going to be talking about private blog networks, expired domains, and in particular, metrics from Majestic SEO. So when it comes to Majestic SEO, you've got two metrics that I'm going to be speaking about, which are the trust flow and the citation flow. Now, these are very strong metrics, especially for someone like myself that goes out and looks to buy expired domains, so I can leverage the authority from them and either introduce them into my private blog network or create sites on top of the old site that used to exist. But when it comes to working with Majestic SEO, one of the issues that we find, and the reason I'm saying, and the reason I'm actually doing this video as well, is because we've received a number of questions from our own subscribers about this, so I'm hoping this will clear it up. But one of the issues that we find is that we can find, or we might actually go out there and we might buy a domain from somebody else that's already expired, and they turn around and tell us that, well, you know what, the trust flow of that domain is 15 and the citation flow of that domain is, say, I don't know, 14. But when you come over to Majestic SEO, you find that they're going to be very different. And I'm going to be giving you examples now as well. And below this video, you can actually see my own questions and the answers received by Majestic SEO themselves. There's about 5 questions or 5 emails that I've sent them and about 5 replies that we've received back, which should really help clear things up, even though it might be still left a little bit vague. So anyway, let me show you what I mean. So we've got a domain here, for example, bbc.co.uk, and down here you've got a number of variations of the URL that you can look at, and depending on what variation you add is going to reflect on the actual score. So as you can see, this one's 86. If I have a look at the subdomain is 95. Okay, and then on top of that, guys, we also have a historical index and we also have a fresh index as well. So when we actually go out there to buy these expired domains, what do we look at? You know, do we look at the fresh index, or do we look at the historical index? Do we look at the subdomain, the root domain, the path, or the URL? And you know, these are the kind of questions that we had to get explained from Majestic SEO. Another example as well, guys, is, or another question that you'll find is, when you have a look at backlinks for the historical index, you can actually see deleted backlinks. Now, of course, you can hide these backlinks and only focus on the backlinks that are live at this precise moment. However, because Majestic SEO still notes these backlinks, though it's still noting the deleted backlinks, so are these deleted backlinks still affecting the trust flow, or do they have an impact on the trust flow? Yes or no? So these are the kind of questions that we wanted to ask Majestic SEO. So you can find everything below this video. But let me just show you one more example, guys, and why it was very important for us to actually ask Majestic SEO these questions. Here's a URL that I found. Okay, it's called lincolnschoolofcommerce.com. It's a spammed website, guys. I mean, if you go to archives.org, you can see there was some, you know, how it changed from sort of like a commerce site, so an education site, over to a site in total different language in Chinese. But when you actually look at it through Majestic SEO, then you can't really notice these until you go over to archives.org. I mean, let me just give you a quick example while we're on here. So you can see all of these anchor text here. You can see, okay, they look pretty cool. The diversity is there. When you have a look at the backlinks as well, guys, then you can see from there as well. But when you go over to somewhere like archives.org, and then you add this URL in there, and when we browse the history and quickly find this, hopefully this is the one. Okay, here we go. Fantastic. So have a look at this, guys. This is in a total different language, and as you can see, there's thousands or hundreds or loads of links on here. Clearly something that we don't want, and something that I was only able to find after I looked at archives.org, because when I looked at Majestic SEO, I looked at the actual, I mean, let me just show you the subdomain, for example. I looked at it from the subdomain. So when I looked at this, 18 trust flow, a citation flow 25, I thought, well, why not? You know what, that looks pretty cool. Obviously the referring IPs weren't so cool, but that's still cool. You know, you got 24 referring IPs from 55 links, so I was happy with that, and the anchor text all looked good and everything as well. But obviously after I checked it into in archives.org, that's when I found out, well, you know what, this is a site that I don't want to touch. So anyway, back over to our topic, guys. So in particular, this is the website that I want to speak to you about, because look at this. We have 55 external backlinks on the subdomain with a trust flow of 18 and a citation flow of 25. And when I change this to the root domain, we still have 55, oops, this changed over, Okay, we still have 55 external links, but a trust flow of 10 and a citation flow of 8. So, you know what, that went against my whole understanding of what I understood about the whole root domain and the subdomain and the path and the URL. And you can actually find that understanding, or my understanding of what I understood about this, from the emails that I was sending Majestic SEO. Maybe you guys have understood it exactly the same way as well. So I'm actually waiting for a reply to come back from Majestic SEO to find out if there's something, you know, I'm just not getting or I'm missing. Because if I've got 55 links pointing to the subdomain and I've got 55 links pointing to the root domain, what Majestic SEO have told me is when you go over to the root domain, then it will include all of the backlinks, whether they're pointing to the subdomain or the URL or whatever. But when you go over to the subdomain or something, it will only include backlinks that are pointing over or that are using the subdomain to link back to the domain. So if I'm finding 55 backlinks in total for the root domain, which is in total what the website has as in the fresh index, then why have I got a lower trust flow when I'm using the root domain, and why is it changing? So anyway, I'm hoping for a reply back from that, but you can see our conversation down below. And this was one of the reasons that prompted me, other than the questions that were asked by our users, to actually get in contact with Majestic SEO. Because just imagine you're going to go and buy this domain now, guys, and you look at it and you think, yeah, wow, okay, then you know what, it's got a trust flow of 10, a citation flow of 8. That's not bad. You know what, it's got 55 links and it's got 24 referring IPs. Not bad. And then you go over to the subdomain, and then you think, hang on, well, all of those 55 links are actually pointing as to the subdomain. So why have I got a lower trust flow on the root domain? So I don't know if the historical data is influencing the fresh data. If it is, what's the point of showing that, unless you're going to actually show the historical data as in the historical backlinks. But when you do actually go over to the historical data, then of course you can see a much lower trust flow. You can see a much better trust flow and a citation flow on the subdomain, but when you go over to the root domain, it actually changes a lot as well. But you can actually see a difference there. So the 249 in the root domain there, and when we go over to subdomain, we've got 238. So only a difference of about 10 links. The categories and everything is perfect on this, but of course, as noted, when you go over to archives.org, this was just something that I passed by. So anyway, guys, I hope you take away something from this video and from our conversations with Majestic SEO.